Hello, everyone, and welcome back to One Soccer. I'm your host for today, Josh Deming. I am joined by Alex Gonge-Ruzic and Junior Hoilett. Junior, thanks for the time. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Not a
Appreciate it.
problem. Not a problem, man. Excited to chat with you. And first question I want to ask you is: you spent now a few months, well, a little more than a few months in Scotland, but with a couple different clubs. Take us through your time right now in Scotland.
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, I came back from injury, so I had a bit of a late start with the team. But yeah, it's been good. I'm back to full fitness now. Been having a lot of minutes with the team. Settling in well. It's doing good personally, but it's just struggling to get some 3 points on the board right now. I've been dropping points in the dying minutes, but the table will turn soon. So just have to keep working hard and grind out some results.
So, Junior, great to have you on here. Just kind of curious how the last few years works. I mean, you were at Redden for a while. There's some stability, and then just sometimes the football things can change so quickly. There's the relegation. You go to the Whitecaps for a few months. You go back to Scotland with Aberdeen. Now you're at Hibs. How has that been like? Just managing, some of those ups and downs that might come with moving so much.
Yeah, of course. The game, the ball turns quick, so opportunity comes quick and fast. So with Reading, obviously we got deducted points late on that kind of killed us and got us relegated late on in the season. And then I joined Vancouver last day of the transfer window, which was a great experience. Short stint, but great experience. To first time to be able to play club football on home soil, so it was good. Had a good group there and great experience. First time at MLS as well. And then opportunity came up with my old manager, Neil Warnock. He got the job at Aberdeen uh, in February for a short stint and asked me to join with him. And knowing how he works and been working under him for many years, it was something I couldn't turn down. And it turned out great. I had a great stint there for a few months and really cemented a name in Scottish football. So it was good. And then uh, the new manager came in, and Aberdeen had new goals, and that deal didn't kind of work out. So uh, Hibs came in with an offer, and it's a great experience to be able to continue my club football.
So, Junior, what was it like to work under Neil Warnock? I've heard he's a bit of a character.
Nah, he's good, but he's good. He's good. Obviously, if you're not doing what he asks of you, he'll let it be known. He'll let it be known, straightforward, straight to the point, strict and honest. But that's good to play under him. He makes it clear what he wants from you, and he wants the best from you. He knows how to get the best out of each player. So obviously, I've been with him from QPR to Cardiff, and then to Aberdeen. So it's a joy working under him, and we had some great years together, and it's a pleasure working with him.
I'm kind of curious. You mentioned there you're at QPR Reading. I remember once upon a time when you're playing in the Premier League. It's always so big here in Canada, so it was always a big deal. You got a Canadian playing in the Premier League. What were some big takeaways of being in a circuit like that, playing in some of those venues, and what that was like for a Canadian guy to experience?
Yeah, of course, playing in the best league in the world, most watched league in the world. It's a dream come true to play, especially coming where I'm from, small city of Brampton, to play on the world stage. It's a massive opportunity and a dream come true. It's a great experience. I was a young kid playing amongst with the teammates with like Salgado and Benny McCarthy, and you just really in that moment you just try to gain as much knowledge from them to develop your game. And the Premier League is a difficult league to play in because any mistake, the other team will capitalize on you. So, but it's something that everybody wants to be a part of, to play in the highest stage and compete against world class players. So it's a great experience.
Well, so I'll ask then, Junior. Do you have a favorite venue from when you're up there in Premier League? Like any venues that you stood back, like, oh man, I always knew an away day there was going to be a good time.
Uh for me, Newcastle has one of the greatest atmospheres, man. Their fans just nonstop chanting, and the stadium there is crazy. I think them and Liverpool, Anfield. Yeah, they're fans. When you hear that, you never walk alone when you're coming out. It's crazy, crazy.
Those seem like two pretty good answers. But Junior, I want to rewind a little bit because obviously the Canadian soccer landscape has changed a lot even from the time you committed. Way back then, I was a big like FIFA guy. I still am, but when I was younger, I always played manager mode on my PSP or even on the PlayStation. And back then, there wasn't a lot of Canadians in the game. You were the dual national back then, and when it wasn't covered as much, I even back then remember what a big deal it was when you decided to represent Canada. You were always in my ultimate teams and my career mode. So it's pretty cool, this full circle, being able to chat with you right now. But I want to rewind because dual nationals are such a big topic nowadays. What was it like way back then when you decided to choose Canada, and how difficult was the decision?
I've always been a supporter of the national team. I always watched them closely. At the time, I was just focused on my club football, obviously, coming where I'm from to really cement myself in the Premier League at that time. And I was keeping tabs with president at the time, Victor. So, but yeah, I was always wanted to play for the national team. I just wanted to make sure the time was right, and I was following and seeing the transition and the progress in the national team, and it was going in the right direction. And I wanted to help push the national team forward, and happy that I made it at that time to see us kick on to where we are now. Is a great achievement what the national team is doing and progression, and it's only better days coming. So I was happy to be a part of it.
I guess just, given how, those few years went committing to Canada, you then see how quickly the program rose. You scored your first goal, if I'm not mistaken, against Jamaica, which must have been bittersweet, right? You end up scoring against Jamaica. They end up getting the last laugh on the day. But, take us through that moment and how maybe special it was to cement it in a game like that, which must have meant a lot for your family, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. Going against your first goal against where your parents and your family's from. It's, it's a great moment for not only me but obviously for my family, of course. But also fast forward, I also scored against them to qualify to the World Cup. So it's amazing. It's a full circle moment, and it's a great moment for me and my family. My family always have the bragging rights when they call back home and see what happens. So that's good, man. It's good to be a part of the team right now and to achieve those things wearing the red shirt is amazing.
Kind of leans into my next question. I was going to ask you what your favorite moment has been with wearing the maple leaf. Was it your debut? Was it one of those two goals? Was it playing at a World Cup? What's been your favorite moment so far?
There's so many. There's so many. So many. For me, it would be that one qualifying that day in Toronto when we qualified. That's something never forget, especially for my family there and the way we did it. That campaign was a special campaign, and the unity, the brotherhood we had, and we still have now, something special. It's one of those moments that you could never forget, no matter what. But also playing at the World Cup, uh, that's what every kid's dream, to play on the big stage of the World Cup for your country. And I think those are the two moments for me. So still pinch myself now.
I'll say, Junior, just I guess maybe take us through a bit more of that World Cup experience, especially, at what moment did you realize you'd be going to World Cup? How far-fetched was it maybe 5-10 years ago when you first committed? You're like, all right, let's just, the idea of Canada at a World Cup was, obviously maybe far in the minds. And, just what was it like taking the field for the first time in Qatar? Maybe you look around, you see the lights, you look down at your kit. What was that whole experience like?
Nah, it's a crazy experience, man. It's crazy to be at the World Cup with your country, something you always dreamt of, watching it as a kid, and then to see your face on a Panini card is kind of crazy that you think about it. My son is collecting Panini cards and he sees me there. It's bad. I still have loads of Paninis of it right now. So yeah, but it's a crazy moment, man. It's a dream come true, and then the whole experience, it didn't really hit me till when I came off the plane Qatar and I seen all the World Cup signs and uh, all the facilities and venues. That's when it really hit me. Like, yeah, I'm really at the World Cup with Canada. So but even the experience going onto the field the first time, nervous. I think that's the most nervous I've ever been. But then once the whistle blown and you touch the ball, the nerves go away, and it's just back living your dream and enjoying the game again. So World Cup experience is amazing, but there's one around the corner that I'm really looking forward to.
That's fair. Home soil. Now, Jesse Marsh is the new manager, as you know, for the men's national team. I'm curious to see what it's been like so far working under Jesse, and maybe what those first few conversations were like when you first chatted with him.
Yeah, of course. Jesse, from day one, he instilled what he wants for the national team and put his style on the team with his intensity and what he wants from the team. It's been a breath of fresh air, and I think it's what we needed. And you can see how the team has capitalized on it, especially in the Copa America. With the talent we have here, it's only up. The only way is up right now. So Jesse Marsh is doing a magnificent job right now, pushing the team forward to progress and get better day by day. When I first came in, he just told me what he wants from me to help push his team forward with my experience and my talent to help not only the young ones coming through, but the team. And he says, I still have a lot to give and a lot to help bring this team to where he wants it to be.
Juniors, you've adapted your game a lot over the years. You maybe came in as an out-and-out winger, but we've seen you play wing back, number 10. We've seen different, position changes, evolutions, and styles. What have you kind of learned through some of those changes? And now I'm curious, what do you feel your best position is? And, under Jesse Marsh, where do you see yourself lining in? Is it maybe still out wide? Is it in maybe one of those 10 spots? Have you kind of spoken about that?
No, he obviously he sees me as a few positions, as a 10 and as a winger as well. Hopefully not fullback, but yeah. So yeah, we spoke about it. He sees me as those positions with the quality I have to bring into the team. He mentioned that I can bring a lot, and yeah, for me over the years, I think it's just learning each day. Not only learning what from your manager, but from the teammates around you. What I could bring to the table to help the team win on the day or achieve what they want going forward. So when I'm asked to play wing back or a different position, I go into it with a mindset with no ego and just wanting to do the best, not only for me, but for the team and for the manager. So for me, how I adapt my game over the years is just each day going with the mindset to be the best you can be on that day.
Now, Junior, over the next couple of years, I'm curious to see what your goals are. Do you think it'd be fair to say maybe winning a trophy with Canada and playing in that 2026 World Cup are probably the top priorities right now?
Of course. For the amount of years I put in with the national team to get a trophy and to play World Cup on a home soil would be a massive achievement, not only for me, but for the whole team and for the whole nation. So that's goals that I put on myself and I put on the team as well. So just happy to be here, be a part of it, and keep progression with the national team.
So just some fun ones to end here from each of us. First one from me. I mean, Junior, you've become a leader on this team. We've seen you wear the armband. Imagine for a lot of those young guys, you've kind of embraced Unk status. Just bringing the wisdom, bringing the vibes. Which of these new faces you've seen in come over the years, who maybe gives you the most headaches in terms of just they have so much enthusiasm? You maybe have to ring them in sometimes. But all right, guys, let's take it easy. How do you kind of just take us through that whole experience, embracing that leadership role?
There's a good amount of young players on the team that I kind of have to keep in check and keep tabs on them. But for me, I'll say Liam Miller, man. On and off the field, he's a character. So he's a joy, man, to be a part of. See him as a teammate, to try to lead him and give him my knowledge is something that I bring with a lot of joy and pride, because I see how he responds to me off the field and on the field. He really wants to learn and get better each day by day. So I think Liam Mills is one I'll say I'll put my arm around.
I like that. We've chatted with Liam a few times. He's an awesome guy. He's scored some bangers in his young career. You've also scored some bangers over the past decade you've been playing. I'm curious to see if you have one in mind, because when I think back to some of your really nice goals, there's a couple from distance when you were at Blackburn and I think QPR. Is there one that kind of sticks out as, yes, that's it, that's my all-time favorite goal?
I have to say the one against Wolves when I was playing for Cardiff.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Couldn't forget.
Yeah.
Was that like outside the boot too? Wasn't it something like that, or was it a curler?
Yeah, it was a first time curler from outside the box.
Oh,
it was crazy because it was the manager's birthday, so he told me before the game just score a goal for him, and it happened to be one of the best goals.
That's a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. I was picturing the one. I don't know if you could tell me which team it was. I think it was you were playing for Blackburn. You were running with the ball at speed, and then you just punted one from like probably 25 yards. Does that ring a bell?
It's Norwich.
It was Norwich. Okay, because that was one that I was like, oh man. I think that was before, that was before you committed for Canada. I'm like, this guy would look good in Maple Leafs. But
I think it was against Norwich. That's good.
I was gonna say there's a few similar ones from distance that I remember when that you've scored over the years, but that was probably my favorite one that you've scored. But all right, Junior, that's all the time for today, man. I really appreciate it. Best of luck at the camp. Got a couple of tough matches, and hopefully you can score another goalie from there.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys.
All right, cheers, man.
All right, later.